I have played with guys, and they always try to take over things, and on this, we have our own space and our own
environment.
Yes, that we could do things while the guys aren't trying to do it themselves.
I'm Sarah, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Michaela, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Sarah, and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Michaela, and I'm in 6th grade.
And we are
SciGirls!
SciGirls is a summer and after-school science investigation program for middle school girls designed to stimulate their interest in math and science. We visited Giant City State Park and conducted an interpretive nature hike along a 1-mile trail.
After lunch, we went to tag hummingbirds, and that was really something to see.
We went and we watched the hummingbirds, and I got to actually hold one and bring it so they could tag it. And a thing I learned there about the water, you're not supposed to have colored water. And I actually told my neighbor that, and so she changed her water. So I thought that was very helpful.
Working with the teachers and other educators and our community partners, WSIU has put together a schedule of monthly science investigations for the SciGirls to try.
Our goal is not to make it like school, if that makes sense. We try to make it as unschool-like as possible, but while still having a learning element in there.
I graduated with about 250 girls in my class, and in our pre-calculus class there were probably about, maybe 10 girls total.
I was probably one of 3 females in the class compared to all males, and we have big lecture halls here too, so it's 50 or 60 guys, and then 3 to 7 girls are definitely the minority.
I think that's great. I think it's cool because I'm winning it. Because mostly guys, guys are mostly involved in the science competitions, and they think that girls can't.
Yeah.
You have to show them that you can compete with them, and you always have a barrier because I told one person, I said, it's like half the guys want to date you and the other half want to show how much smarter they are than you.
Because guys are usually so negative about girls. If a guy loses to a girl, guys are always so negative about it.
And everyone knows that we're better, so
We're definitely smarter.
just go ahead and accept it.
The kids were presented with a situation where there was a crime and they had to figure out what happened at the scene of the crime.
Well, I liked the fingerprinting. You can put that all on your on a piece of paper and then stick it in that purple gas, and it comes out to be a brown kind of color, and it shows such a detail about what everyone's finger textures are like and how everyone's are completely different.
It's better just to try not to touch it.
Just don't do it at all.
That would be the best.
Definitely.
It was interesting because I don't think the girls had ever deconstructed the elements of a crime scene, and they had some preconceived notions based on what they had seen in television. And after performing these experiments and learning to collaborate together to solve the crime, I think many of them now may be inspired to forensic science in the future.
We're trying to figure out what substances are on the napkin and on the rag that were found at the crime scene.
And how are you doing that?
We're using ethanol and magic stuff.
Magic stuff. I have to say my favorite part though was how they could detect if blood was on a certain rag or something with using 2 chemical liquid mixtures. pouring it on there, and if it turns out bright pink, then they know that that sample of cloth or material or whatever such that they were using had blood on it.
So they went from each station to station and then pieced all the information together to solve the crime.
Under investigation, Jeff admitted that he secretly obtained the metal compound silver from his wife's office, allowing him to make the poison.
If I had something like SciGirls growing up, it would have made me more confident, I think, in going into a field like this, or prepared me a little better, gave me maybe some sort of more motivation, I guess, to pursue this field.
Some of the events that we have done with SciGirls, you would learn a little bit more. Like we did this thing with like rivers, and they were eroding and stuff like that. And we actually got to go into like this huge sandbox and actually watch like the water eroding the sand. And we actually did a lesson about that a few days later. And it was really easy to understand because we had actually seen it.
We talked about geomorphologists and what a geomorphologist is and how they study the surface of the earth and changing processes, sculpting the surface of the earth like rivers. This is the flume. This is where we study rivers and what they do. SciGirls actually got in after looking at our model that we created and changed that model, actually destroyed the model, and created their own river experiment. You can look on the side of the flume, especially on this side and some on that side. You can see layers of sediment where the river occupied. In some cases, you can see channels where the river hit the side and carved out a dip. Can you see those?
I think for SciGirls, the advantages of participating in this after-school and summer program are the way that they learn to interrelate with each other for problem solving as a team.
Erode, transport, deposit. Erode, transport, deposit. Erode.
This is the first time I've worked with SciGirls.
And how do you think it went?
I think it went excellent. I was impressed by the motivation and enthusiasm and how they jumped right in and weren't afraid to get dirty.
Because I didn't know that over time the water keeps just pushing and pushing the sides, and eventually it'll all become a river. And then whenever we got to get in there, it was really fun, but also really messy. Whenever you're wearing jeans and stuff, you got to get all down and into the sand and the water. And then we got to see, we left it alone for about, I think it was 15 or 10 minutes or something like that. And we came back, and we got to see like the whole thing was completely different. And everyone's sand houses and towers were all piling into the water because of all the eroding that went on over just a short period of time.
What I like about SciGirls is that they can actually see what different careers are. They can go and see, what do I have to do to be a doctor? What do I have to do to be a lawyer? What do I have to do to be an engineer? What do I have to do to be a physicist? What does a physicist do?
I'm interested in being a vet or an engineer, and both of them include science.
I'm going to be an animal naturalist.
Teacher, brain surgeon,
A pediatric nurse.
veterinarian,
Architect.
a horse trainer, and
Surgeon.
A lawyer or a judge?
I don't know what I want to be.
We girls can learn about jobs that are open for both men and women, and that way we can maybe one day become a professional scientist.
Even if these young people don't choose a career in science in the future, I think they're gaining some foundational skills that will carry them forward into a very bright future.
What's wrong is there's something not right with it. That's what's wrong with it. So you're going to have to figure out how to do this different.
You guys break up into your groups. We will let you guys speak with people that work cameras and be able to record each other and do each other things.
Hovercraft, we got to make them, and then we were racing them. That was pretty fun.
Okay, let's wait and Okay, she needs to turn it off. Was yours easy to build? Kind of.
I found out if you put the battery pack more left, it's going to go left. If you put it more right, it's going to go right. So right now I'm trying to get it towards the center.
And then we got to go to lunch and got to see a real hovercraft that went around on Campus Lake, and some of the kids got to see and get in the hovercraft and kind of let it get off the ground a little bit. At first they were apprehensive. They were kind of like, oh my gosh, what is that? And then as they warmed up to the idea and we told them that they could go up to it and get to see it and get to touch it and get on it, then they were really excited.
It has engaged administrators and school officials, the teachers, the parents and families of the SciGirls themselves, and other students who aren't involved in SciGirls have expressed interest.
Everything you learn is so much fun.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it will open more opportunities to careers.
If I would have had a club like that, it would have taught me more about, what I could do in this field and what different opportunities there were. And
it's interesting because some of the kids who I have seen in the past in the classroom, who are maybe a little bit shyer than others, they come to the front and they are a little bit more assertive and a little bit different than they maybe were in 5th grade in my science classroom.
These young people have a much stronger awareness of the importance of science, math, technology, and engineering in their lives.
No, I got it. It's mine.
Come on, we're gonna do something.
You go first. Okay, my mom was telling my brother about SciGirls, but she called it Sci-Fi Girls instead of SciGirls.